Australians of Reddit, what is the scariest encounter you've had with one of the native animals? Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. I had just come home after a long bicycle ride. I took my shoes off and just forgot to bring them inside afterwards. 2 days later I was about to go on another bicycle ride, so needed my shoes. I put my left one on with no problems, but felt something a little squishy when putting my foot into my right shoe. I immediately took my foot out to discover it to be covered in at least 100 baby spiders, and a larger redback spider came scuttling out of the shoe. Don't leave your shoes outside, or at the very least check them, unlike me. American here. My wife had us bring home some chairs we found on the curb. My shoes got taken off and sat next to the new furniture. The next day I put them on and it feels like I have a rock in my shoe. I take it off and shake it. A huge pastel spider falls out. It was yellow and pink, which means whatever kind it was lived in flowery areas. I had stood on this thing with all 220 pounds of my weight and it wasn't even harmed. I bashed it with the shoe 3 times, it just kept walking. Finally I put the shoe top of it and stood on the shoe with both feet, and that finally did it. I don't know what kind it was, but clearly if it had bitten me I'd be a superhero by now. I was driving on a straight unsealed road through barren land and had not seen anything on the road or to either side for about half an hour when I had to decelerate heavily to avoid driving into a group of half a dozen emus who were startled and who scattered in all directions. I think you mean they took military action and stealthily dispersed as the enemy approached from the south. They never signed a declaration of peace. The war rages on for the evasive emu population. Came home after 2 weeks away. My parents picked me up, unloaded my suitcase, loaded it up themselves, then left on holidays. That night, I was sleeping on my stomach, and a possum came in through the window and landed on the soles of my feet. I'm guessing he had pushed through the fly screen while I was away and had been sleeping in my room. All I knew is something big and hairy landed on me. I lashed out, and he went flying across the room. I left pretty quick and slept on the couch. Another one didn't scare me, but the wife. I saw 2 or 3 baby huntsman spiders about the size of a pinhead outside my bedroom. I saw maybe a dozen more in my bedroom. Then I walked into my ensuite. Huntsmans have about 200 babies at a time, and the remaining 185 were all in there hanging out. The wife made me go out at 11 PM for bug spray, and still didn't sleep in the bedroom for another 4 nights. I once wandered toward the bathroom at 2 AM, flipped on the light to discover 200 of the little buggers on the hallway ceiling. Sprayed bug spray at them, they all started to repel downwards on their spidery silky webs simultaneously. If I hadn't needed to use the loo before that, I certainly did afterwards. Came home from work and went to step outside to enjoy the garden when I noticed an intense buzzing. I looked down and there's a spider wasp and a huntsman spider having a Godzilla, King of the Monsters showdown, wrestling all over the patio area. The spider wasp stung the huntsman into submission and dragged it over to a hole in the wall. I later learned that the spider wasp lays her eggs in the barely living body and uses it as an incubator. Nice. In another huntsman incident, the one I keep in my garage dropped into my lap from the sun visor in my car as I reversed out of my driveway. I screamed for a bit before scooping him up and popping him back in the garage. I warned him not to get in my car again. Anyone watching would have found a grown man lecturing a fucking huge spider a bit weird. I do generally like them though, hence not killing it. I've also been chased by an emu while cycling a few times. They're fucking deranged. While I was mowing, saw a snake, thought it was a red-bellied black snake, get them all the time, so I took a stick and hit the ground near it to scare it off. Fucking thing arced up, hissed and charged at me. I took off. It was a tiger snake. Yeah, tiger snakes will chase. Mean fuckers. Not a nice mistake to make. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. And have a good day.